besties, welcome back to my channel. I remember talking about my express entry journey in 2023. A lot of things has been modified. I want us to take a look into the snapshot of what has been happening in the relocation programs for Canada. So let's look at 2024 and see what's going on. Now we have the no program specified draw, which is the all streams draw. So the first draw was on the 10th of January and it was 546. The following one was on the 23rd of January and it was 543. The third one was on the 31st of January and it was 541. This is no longer 2 weeks now. Okay. Then the last one was on the 13th of February, a couple of days ago, and it was 535. So that's for the all streams draw. That one no follow for category based. Now let's look at the category based. So in January, there was no category based. So it started in February. Now in February, the first category based was on the 1st of February and the score was 365. So go and check the categories that they are selecting. Most times is health, sometimes is IT. Go and check. 365. Sometimes it's STEM. I don't know, you have to check. Then on the 14th of February, the score was 422. And on the 16th of February, the score was 437. So guys, go and check. So provincial nomination they've not done any provincial nomination for this year. However, if you're in the pool and you got provincial nomination and your score is high, you're definitely going to be selected for the all streams draw. So don't say because there is no provincial nomination draw beginning of the year, that means you will not get it. Once you have that high score from your nomination, you can get selected from the all streams draw. That was actually what happened in my case. My case was I got selected from the all streams draw and I had a provincial nomination. So don't let that discourage you. Okay, so now why did I bring these figures out? I brought it out because I want us to look at other ways we can come to Canada. Everything no end and begin with express entry. But people do not know this. People feel like, oh, I have to be in the pool and that is all I have to do. There are various ways because it's not easy anymore. See 500 and something, how? And I know a lot of people watching me are in their 30s, so how do you want to do it? How do you want to navigate? What pathway do you want to use? Go to the IRCC website. There are various pilot pathways there that you can actually look at. That can actually go with even what you're doing, your occupation, but you will not know because you don't research. I'm going to be looking at some of those. But first of all, I would like to look at the study route. Now, the study route is not really the best route right now because of the increment in the POF. It has been doubled. What they used to pay before is now ×2. So I think it's $20,000 right now that should be in your account as a student. So it's a lot of money, I know, but people are doing it, right? Now, aside from the POF increments, there's actually also a policy now about coming into Canada with your family. Now, if you're coming to Canada with your family members, if you intend to come to Canada with your family members and you're not a master's or PhD student, it's not possible from September, right? So prior to now, every gbogbo, whether it's diploma, whether it's whatever program you're coming in, you can come with your family as long as you can afford to do that. But right now, if you're not a master's student or a PhD student, after September, it's a no, you cannot come into Canada with your family. The school fees is not cheap, but there are some affordable universities I would like us to look out for. And they call them the U15 universities. So the U15 universities are actually, if you hear some children in the background, my son and his friend are running up and down in the living room. So sorry about that. So the U15 universities are research-based universities and they are affordable compared to other universities. We even have one in my midst, which is the University of Waterloo. So I'm going to be listing out these universities. If you want to write them down, you can write them down. The first one is University of Alberta. I just call Alberta. University of Calgary. Dalhousie University, Université Laval, University of Manitoba, McGill, that's McGill, McMaster University, Université de Montreal, U Ottawa, Queen's University, University of Saskatchewan, University of Toronto, Western University, and our very own University of Waterloo. So these are research-based universities, and they are not as expensive as other universities that you would like to look into them. So if you want to go through the study route and you feel like school fees is a problem, check these universities. If you also want to go through the study route, also check for scholarships you can apply. So another thing to beat this score, see, there's a score for French, and the score is a useless score. What I say is a useless score is sometimes it's 300 and something. I'm like, guy. So if you can speak French, see, I did not learn it because I did not have a passion for it, or I got to a point where I became comfortable after having my PMP, right? But trust me, if I was still in Nigeria with what is going on right now, I'll go and learn that French. Say there is Alliance Française that you can learn, or there's one program like this, I think it's in Badagry or something that you can learn from French. Being bilingual in this country is good. There are some jobs that you want to apply and they'll tell you bilingual. So aside from learning French, if you can actually now get a job, that was actually, that would move your chances. How do you get these jobs? Go to Job Bank, go to Indeed. There are some agencies that help. Be careful with agencies though, but there are some agencies that actually help recruit people. Um, Ensure you have a very good and distinguished resume. So getting a job can actually boost your chances of moving to Canada. Lastly, I want to talk about something in detail, and that is even why I created this video. It's called the Rural Northern Immigration Program. These are communities that are looking for people. It's different from provincial nomination. So these are communities that are actually looking for people. So I want us to look at this in detail. Now let me get my phone. If you're not friends with the IRCC website, you need to have a change of mind, because while I was doing my application, I was always going to the IRCC website to see what's up. It says the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot is a community-driven program. It's designed to spread the benefits of economic immigration to smaller communities by creating a path to permanent residence for skilled foreign workers who want to work and live in one of these participating communities. There are some small communities in Canada that need skilled foreign professionals. What again? I said there are some small communities in Canada that need skilled foreign professionals. Now, I am not an immigration consultant, so I cannot give you all the details, but I will give you what I was able to research for this video. Let me give you the states first before I now tell you the eligibility. So let me tell you the communities that participate in this program first before I begin to tell you the eligibility. Now, the communities are North Bay, Sudbury in Ontario, Timmins in Ontario, Sault Ste. Maria, I don't know if I'm calling that correctly, Thunder Bay, Brandon, Altona, and Vernon, Moose Jaw in Saskatchewan. I said all those things fast, and you might not have gotten that information, but go to the IRCC website and search for Rural Northern Immigration Program. You will see the list again there for these communities. Now, what is the eligible criteria? First of all, you need to have 1 year of qualifying experience within 3 years. So if you've worked in a bank 5 years ago, and you've not worked after that, that does not count. But if you're not working presently and you had a job 2 years ago and you have 1 year experience, that will count. All right. So no snoozing to lose. So you need to have 1 year experience within the span of 3 years. And this does not count for an international student. So if you're an international student, you don't need that work experience because you're already a student, right? So you also need the Canadian education. If you're like I said, if you're a student in Canada, you don't even need to have the work experience because you already have the living experience in Canada, first of all. Then, as a student in Canada, that Canadian education is what you need when it comes to education. But if you're not a student in Canada, you need to have an ECA. That's an evaluation of your credentials with either WES or ICAS, I think, and there are other institutions that do it, but the popular ones are WES and ICAS. You need to have a settlement fund, which shows that you are able to take care of yourself for a few months while landing in Canada. You also need to have a job in Canada from that community. So first thing, you have to check the communities and see the participating communities, get a job within that participating community, apply to that participating community. So the participating community will now recommend you for permanent residence. It's different from provincial nomination. Provincial nomination is a province. Just like in Nigeria, you have Lagos State. In Lagos State, you now have Mushi. Now, I'm not talking about Lagos. I'm talking about Mushi. So that is the community. So the community will now be the one to recommend you for permanent residence. It's totally different because there are some small, small communities that don't really have a lot of skilled workers. So this will actually help them to get in foreign professionals into their community, because obviously people that come to through provincial nomination will not be thinking of going to Sudbury. Or people that come into express entry, they will not be thinking of going to Timmins or Sudbury. They'll be thinking of Toronto, the bigger cities, Toronto, Kitchener. So there's also, same way we have provincial nomination, that's going to be my next point, is the same way we have the rural northern immigration program. So check it out. This information I'm giving you is just a summary of what you need. Go and check in details now. Then the last one I'm going to talk about is the provincial nomination program. Now, I will go into details of Ontario because I came in through the provincial nomination program. Prior to me being selected, I used to have an NOC, a different NOC code. Now, the NOC I used to have was, I think, was for uh, financial institutions and something, I can't remember. But then I changed the game in January and I changed my NOC to 0122. Everything has changed, but this is my process. I changed my NOC to 0122, and that was for banking and investment managers. It's not just about selecting the NOC and they select you. If you select the NOC, because you can actually go and see the job description of what the NOC is all about. So if your resume that you're submitting does not meet it, they will not select you. You're selecting an NOC that is a managerial position or a supervisory role, and your job functions does not include supervisory or managerial role, forget it. It's a no. Imagine you selecting that you're a manager, and in your resume there's nothing like you're managing, there's nothing like you're supervising, there's nothing like you're providing reports, or you're involved in budgeting, or these are things that managers and supervisors do. So if you don't have all of that information in your resume when you're submitting the application, they will bounce you. That's just a tip. Anyways. So I want us to look at the current draws from Ontario for provincial nomination, and let us see what they are selecting. It's very important we check that. They'll be selecting managers in healthcare, specialists in clinical and laboratory medicine, specialists in surgery, veterinarians, dentists, optometrists, audiologists, pathologists, pharmacists, dietitians, psychologists, chiropractors, physiotherapists, occupational therapy, kinesiologists, nursing coordinations, and supervisor. For these health categories I've mentioned now, the draw no high. The cutoff is between 370 to 430. So if you are 440 safe, they will not even pick you. Is that ridiculous? So if you are 440, 450 with high score, they will not even select you. They selected between the score of 371 because they had a range to 430 for this health occupation. That's how Ontario works. Even when I was selected, there was a range. It wasn't like everybody above this range. Unlike the general draw that will say, okay, once you're above this range and you meet the total number of people they want in, that is it. But Ontario nomination will give a range of scores that they want to pick from. Now for IT draws, once you have between 471 to 480, this is the latest one. I think this is February 8th. This is the latest draw they've done for IT occupation. The NOCs they've been picking were computer and information system managers, data scientists, cybersecurity specialists, business system analysis, business system specialists, information system specialists, database analysts, computer systems developers and programmers, software engineers, software developers, web designers, web developers, computer engineers, computer network, user support technicians. So if you are working in a place that you're doing data capture, hope you know you're a data analyst. You're in a place you are capturing data, you're grouping information. You're a data analyst, not Gorel. Don't snooze. If you're working in the bank and you're working on certain projects, you are a business analyst. Don't let oh God. You're working on projects, you're helping develop projects, you're managing some certain portfolios. You are a business analyst. I'm not saying go and lie, but I'm saying look at your job description and see how you can fit and select it right now so that Ontario can pick you in the next draw. Because this is the second time they are picking these NOCs. They picked them in December and they picked them again this February. You cannot imagine the number of research I did when I was trying to travel. Like, you need to be on your toes with information, make IRCC your friend, join Telegram groups, see what's going on, see what is trending. There are various pathways, like I said, there's a STEM program. Check whichever one you can do, go and learn French. I'm not saying everybody should leave Nigeria, but I'm saying that the economy is becoming so tough that you need to find yourself and also think if it's a thing for you. Not because everybody's japa and you want to japa. If it's a thing for you and you feel like, okay, you can survive, do it. All right. And I'm here to help also. If you have questions and you feel like you need clarifications on some things, send me an email to stelsluchi@gmail.com. DM me on Instagram. I think I've replied almost everybody that has sent me DMs on Instagram. I feel like I'm not the kind of person that will leave you on red, like, except I'm busy at that time, but I'll definitely go back and reply you, okay? So thank you so much for tuning in again. I'm your girl Stels. Peace out.